The call came in just before dawn. Unresponsive infant. No breathing. No pulse. By the time paramedics arrived, the house was already awake in the worst way. Lights on. Doors open. A mother pacing the hallway barefoot, repeating the same sentence like it might undo what had already happened. The father stood in the kitchen, hands on the counter, staring at nothing. The nursery was at the end of the hall. It was perfect. That was the first problem. Soft cream walls. A mobile still turning slowly above the crib. Stuffed animals lying neatly along a shelf untouched. The crib mattress was firm. The sheets were tucked tight, hospital corner tight. No pillows. No blankets near the baby's face. No hazards. Every parenting manual would have approved this room. The infant lay on his back, positioned just right. As if someone had taken care to make sure of it. Paramedics worked fast. Chest compressions. Oxygen. Gentle but urgent movements. The kind of motions that carried hope even when the odds were thin. After 20 minutes, they stopped. Time of death was called in the nursery. No signs of illness. No fever reported. No recent doctor visits. The baby had been healthy full term, feeding well. According to the parents, he had gone to sleep around 10:30 p.m. They checked on him once before bed. Everything was fine. They woke up at 5:12 a.m. And he was gone. When investigators arrived, the house had already settled into a heavy silence. The kind that comes after screaming has burned itself out. The parents were separated for questioning. The mother's story was simple. She fed the baby, changed him, placed him in the crib, kissed his forehead, turned on the monitor. She slept through the night. The father said the same. No late-night crying. No visitors. No strange sounds. No one entered the nursery. The baby monitor sat on the nightstand in the parents' bedroom, still plugged in. The screen was dark now, but the device had internal storage. Standard model. Motion-activated recording. Time-stamped footage saved automatically. An officer carried it carefully, like evidence that could shatter if handled wrong. Back in the nursery, a forensic tech began documenting the scene. No overturned furniture. No marks on the walls. No blood. No bruising visible on the infant's skin. But something felt staged. Not dramatic. Not obvious. Subtle. The diaper had been changed recently. The tabs were fresh, the fit precise. That didn't match the parents' timeline. According to them, the baby had been changed before bedtime and not disturbed again. The coroner arrived mid-morning. Preliminary exam showed no congenital defects. No external trauma. No immediate cause of death. This wasn't choking. This wasn't suffocation in the traditional sense. At least, not one that left marks. It was ruled suspicious pending further testing. That's when the monitor footage was reviewed. The room appeared on screen in soft grayscale. Night vision. Grainy, but clear enough. Timestamp. 1:47 a.m. The baby was asleep. Chest rising and falling. Then movement. The door opened. Not wide. Just enough. A figure stepped inside. The camera caught only part of them. A shoulder. A forearm. No face. They moved slowly, deliberately. No panic. No rush. The kind of movement that suggested familiarity with the room. The figure leaned over the crib. The baby stirred. The audio picked up something faint. Not crying. Not words. A soft sound. Like shushing. The figure stayed for 6 minutes. 6 minutes where the baby's movements gradually slowed. Then stopped. At 1:53 a.m., the figure adjusted the sheets. Smoothed them. Checked the baby's position. Made sure everything looked normal. Then they left. The door closed quietly. At 1:54 a.m., the nursery was still again. No alert was sent to the parents' monitor. Motion alerts had been disabled manually sometime earlier that night. When asked about that, both parents said the same. They didn't change the settings. Investigators rewatched the footage frame by frame. The figure's height suggested an adult. The arm looked bare. No gloves. No sleeves long enough to hide skin tone, but the image wasn't clear enough to identify it. There were no forced entry points in the house. No broken locks. No disturbed alarms. Whoever entered the nursery already belonged there. Or was expected to. CSI technicians began a deeper sweep. Fingerprints on the crib rail revealed more than just the parents. Smudged partials. Someone else had touched that crib recently. Not during normal visits. The placement was wrong. Too deliberate. Too controlled. A swab from the baby's neck and face showed trace fibers. Fabric that didn't match the crib sheets or the baby's clothing. The nursery was clean. Too clean. Trash bins were empty. Laundry had been done overnight. The washing machine drum was still warm when officers checked it. Down the hall, in the guest bathroom, a small towel was found in the hamper. Damp. Recently used. No visible stains. But it didn't belong to the set used by the family. When questioned again, the parents denied anyone staying over. No babysitter. No relatives. No friends. But the house told a different story. Someone had been awake at 1:47 a.m. Someone had entered the nursery. Someone had adjusted the scene. And no one had called for help until morning. By the end of the day, the case was no longer a medical mystery. It was a homicide investigation. Because babies don't die quietly in perfect rooms. And people who have nothing to hide don't erase motion alerts, wash towels at 2 in the morning, or leave behind fingerprints they can't explain. The nursery was empty now. But it had been occupied long after everyone claimed to be asleep. And whoever walked out at 1:54 a.m. never reported what they did inside. The autopsy took 4 hours. That alone told investigators this wasn't going to be simple. There were no broken bones. No internal bleeding. No disease. The baby's lungs showed normal development. No milk aspiration. No signs of infection. Toxicology came back clean. No sedatives. No medications. Nothing that could be blamed on accident or illness. Cause of death, at first, read undetermined. But undetermined doesn't mean natural. It means someone was careful. The pathologist paused over the neck. Not bruises, those would have been obvious. Instead, faint petechial hemorrhaging beneath the skin. Tiny broken capillaries. So subtle they could easily be dismissed. Not enough to scream strangulation. But enough to whisper pressure. Sustained. Controlled. Gentle enough not to leave marks. The kind of pressure that could only come from hands that knew exactly how long to hold and when to stop. That finding reclassified the case. Now it was officially homicide. Back at the house, CSI returned with a tighter focus. The baby monitor footage was enhanced. Contrast adjusted. Edges sharpened. The forearm that entered the frame showed a faint discoloration near the wrist. A mark consistent with a healing burn. The mother had one. She said it was from cooking. An old injury. Nothing unusual. Except the mark in the footage appeared newer than the one on her arm. Slightly darker. Slightly raised. The father had no such injury. Then came the fibers. The towel found in the guest bathroom matched the fibers recovered from the baby's neck. Microfibers from a blended cotton towel, off-white, recently laundered. The same brand, same wear pattern. The mother admitted she had done laundry overnight. She said she couldn't sleep. That detail mattered. Sleep deprivation doesn't make someone erase evidence. It doesn't make them disable motion alerts or smooth sheets after a death. Those are choices. Investigators reconstructed the night. The baby stirred sometime after midnight. Normal. Infants do that. The crying likely woke someone. But not both parents. The father's phone activity showed no movement from 11:02 p.m. until 5:08 a.m. His sleep app recorded steady patterns. No interruptions. No steps. No screen unlocks. The mother's phone told a different story. At 1:31 a.m., the screen lit up. At 1:42 a.m., The baby monitor app was opened. At 1:44 a.m., motion alerts were disabled. 3 minutes later, someone entered the nursery. When confronted with the data, the mother's story shifted. She said she heard a noise. She said she went in to check. She said the baby was crying harder than usual. She said she panicked. But panic leaves chaos. What happened in that nursery left precision. CSI measured the time again. 6 minutes. That's how long the figure remained. Not trying CPR. Not calling for help. Not waking the father. 6 minutes of silence. Then staging. The sheets were smoothed because someone wanted the room to look untouched. The diaper was changed because someone didn't want investigators to question timing. The towel was used to wipe something down hands, the baby's skin, maybe both. The laundry was done because evidence doesn't survive soap and heat. In the interrogation room, the mother finally stopped talking. Her breathing slowed. Her shoulders dropped. She didn't ask about the autopsy. She didn't ask about her husband. She asked one thing. Did he suffer? That question came too soon. No one had told her how the baby died. The detective sat in silence. Then she spoke again. I didn't mean to hurt him. Her statement wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was flat. Tired. She said the baby wouldn't stop crying. She said she hadn't slept properly in weeks. She said she felt like the house was closing in on her every night. She said when she went into the nursery, something inside her snapped, not rage, not hate, just a desperate need for quiet. She said she pressed too hard. She said she didn't realize how small he was. She said when she noticed he wasn't moving, she froze. Then she cleaned. Then she went back to bed. She let morning come. The father was cleared within 48 hours. The mother was arrested without resistance. The nursery was sealed. Later, when the crib was dismantled and the mobile removed, investigators noticed something they'd missed before. Beneath the mattress, tucked between the slats, was the baby monitor's motion sensor manual. The page explaining how to disable alerts was folded, worn, and smudged with fingerprints. That setting hadn't been changed by accident. The case closed quietly. No chase. No dramatic reveal. Just a house that looked safe and a room that looked perfect. And a reminder that the most dangerous scenes are often the cleanest ones. Because violence doesn't always leave a mess. Sometimes it leaves an empty nursery and a silence that lasts forever.